Hi, I'm Asphyxia. I'm deaf. I'm an artist, writer, music composer, and activist. You may know me as the author of Future Girl. I'm now working on a project to make music more accessible for deaf and hard of hearing people, and have developed a music app called Amplio, which is like Spotify for deaf people. With Amplio, you can see every note on every instrument. You can feel vibrations that represent the lyrics as well as the beat. You can hear sounds designed for hearing aids, cochlear implants, and for those who don't wear either. You can customize the sound to your hearing range. It doesn't matter if you're only slightly hard of hearing or totally deaf. Amplio can improve your music experience. Music is our society's most popular art form, for good reason. It offers many benefits. It helps us to learn better, improves our memory, boosts our mood, reduces anxiety and depression, makes it easier to exercise, and it even helps you to manage pain better. Why should hearing people benefit from all that, but not deaf or hard of hearing people? In a world where we have captions and ramps, it is astonishing that we don't yet have a quality pathway for deaf and hard of hearing people to access music. With the latest technology, this is changing. But deaf and hard of hearing people aren't yet aware of what's available. You can help by letting them know. Although I've always enjoyed music, mostly I have struggled to access it. I figured it just wasn't for me. The whole world of music felt like a confusing mystery. I had no idea that deep inside me, I actually had a huge passion for music and would one day become a composer. I believe many deaf and hard of hearing people have written off music because it's inaccessible, and a passion could be ignited if we made it easy to access. I've been researching music accessibility for years, and I've uncovered some surprising information that has helped me vastly improve my access to music. And my experiments show that other deaf and hard of hearing people experience the same benefits. I'll explain some of my key research and findings, along with resources that you can check out yourself. At the end of this presentation, I'll recap all the resources so you can screenshot them if you wish. Music is one of the few activities that activates large areas of both sides of the brain. Research from Dr. Dean Shibata shows that while vibrations are experienced by most people in a small area of the brain, deaf people's brains rewire so that vibrations activate the same areas as music. This means we experience vibrations as magical and transportative, just as hearing people do music. While not all deaf people and hard of hearing people like vibrations, many of us do. And they are the most valued way for us to experience music. This is why most deaf and hard of hearing people look for music with a strong bass. I, like many deaf people, discovered music vibrations at a nightclub. Deaf people gather around the speakers to enjoy the vibrations. But most of us don't know how to make the most of this at home. Subwoofers are problematic because to get powerful vibrations, we have to turn the volume up too loud, annoying the hearing people around us. Also, the vibrations only represent the bass and the kick drum, which can feel monotonous after a while. We need a vibrational experience that represents the whole song including the melody and lyrics, enabling us to sing and sign along. With this, music becomes accessible even for those who are totally deaf. Deaf vibration designers, like we use at Amplio, are essential because our brains process vibrations differently from hearing people. This allows us to create tactile experiences that resonate deeply with deaf users, ensuring no nuances are lost in translation. I have conducted online surveys to understand the barriers experienced by other deaf and hard of hearing people, and have found out that the problems I've been having with music are common. The key barriers we face are difficulty understanding exactly when the lyrics occur, a desire to see visually what is happening, a frustration that songs suddenly become confusing as they progress, confusion about what sound and vibration equipment to purchase, uncertainty about how to find the right music for us, a desire to find out more about genres, but not knowing where to find this information, a desire to share music with others, but we are forced to listen to it alone because of technology setup, and a desire to hear music without background noise, which makes it difficult to hear clearly. I've been working on how to address these issues effectively for all levels of hearing, from mildly hard of hearing to totally deaf. One of the most interesting sources I found is the book This Is Your Brain on Music: Understanding a Human Obsession by Daniel J. Levitin. This book does not cover deaf experience, but explores in great detail experiments done to understand how the brain processes music and sound. From this, I could extrapolate how deaf brains may be affected, and then I ran tests on myself and other deaf and hard of hearing people to verify my theories. It enabled me to understand many puzzling aspects of deaf music experience, such as why hearing people are moved to tears by some music, yet while I can hear it, I feel nothing. Why hearing people can recognize voices and understand the mood and emotion conveyed in voices while I can't, even though I can hear speech and singing with my hearing aids. Why my interpretation of the mood of a piece of music is totally different from that of hearing people. For example, I'll experience a particular track as calming and soothing, while hearing people say it's spooky or creepy. Why my taste in music appears to be vastly different from the hearing people around me. Why I don't enjoy today's most popular songs. And why my genre preferences are so unexpected. For example, I love Christmas carols, but am not religious and don't even celebrate Christmas. Why being only slightly hard of hearing can make music sound fuzzy, with instruments indistinct. The reason for most of this is associated with poor pitch perception, which I will talk about more in a moment. What I learnt from my research, I presented at the Australasian Computer Music Conference at the University of New England in December 2023. The contents of my presentation are available online in an article I wrote. This article covers the science of how deaf and hard of hearing people process music and what we can do in response to maximize our experience of music. I will give you a brief summary of this article. Just as we struggle with background noise, we struggle with too many sounds in music made for hearing people. It is popular to make music with many instruments playing at the same time, but this can blur together for us and make it impossible to recognize and enjoy the individual sounds. Music made for deaf and hard of hearing people needs to have the right amount of instrumentation to be clear for us, and the vocals need to be loud enough relative to the backing music so that we can understand the lyrics. Connecting to the mood and atmosphere in music relies on the ability to hear pitches accurately. Most deaf and hard of hearing people cannot accurately identify pitches, which means that the way mood is conveyed in music is lost on us. That's why hearing people often become emotional about music, while we wonder what all the fuss is about. This also means we can have surprising tastes in music, which can seem jarring to our hearing friends. Much of the pleasure in listening to music stems from the combination of what is expected versus what is actually heard in a song. The brain experiences a burst of satisfaction from identifying the beat in a song and anticipating when the next beat will occur. However, too much of the same thing becomes boring after a while. When a musician deviates slightly from what is expected, perhaps by altering the phrasing to sing a lyric slightly early or late, or playing an unusual note, the brain responds with surprise, and if done well, delight. Some surprises like this make music more complex, but if it is too complex, you can't form the expectation and will become lost in a mess of sound. For music to be enjoyable, it needs to be at the right level of complexity, and for a person who has been deaf or hard of hearing for much of their life may find popular music too complex. I believe music needs to be rebuilt from the ground up so that we can enjoy it better. Currently, the expectation is that deaf people will listen to music made for hearing people, but this results in a suboptimal experience. Vibrations are reductive, and songs with too many instruments are experienced as sonic soup. Deaf people search for songs with a strong bass and clear vocals, but these songs only grant them a fraction of the music experience that is available with music that is rebuilt specifically for our needs. To address the issues we face with recorded music and to optimize our music experience, I created Amplio. I'll show you around the app and website and explain how the features work for us. In order to improve the social and cultural exclusion that we have experienced, the Amplio website provides information about music genres to help people to understand how genre relates to identity. 63% of people said that they want to understand more about genres and discover what music they like. For every song, there is also a description of the mood and the cultural context to make it easy to select the right music for an occasion and understand what our peers are talking about. In Amplio, songs are categorized to make it easy to find suitable music. Popular music today is quite complex, with many rhythmic surprises, which are enjoyable for hearing people who have had plenty of exposure to music, but can make it difficult for deaf and hard of hearing people to immerse themselves in the beat. People who are inexperienced with music need songs with reduced complexity. So we have a new to music category. We provide categories for loss of low pitches or loss of high pitches. This assists the 49% of deaf and hard of hearing people who reported that they don't know how to find music they can hear clearly and enjoy. In the music player, you can see 4 instruments: the drums, bass, 1 additional instrument, and the vocals. More instruments than this can make it hard for us to hear clearly, because even if we're only slightly hard of hearing, an inability to hear very quiet sounds means that we lose the capacity to distinguish between instruments. On Amplio, songs are reduced to 4 instruments at a time to make them easier to hear. When we play a song, we can see the notes played on each instrument and read the lyrics exactly as they occur. We can even see how long each lyric is held for and whether the melody is going up or down. This supports the 86% of deaf and hard of hearing people who can't always hear when lyrics occur and wish there was a way to see visually what is happening in music. For each instrument, users can control the volume to make sure that they can hear it, but it doesn't overpower the vocals. We can train our brains by hearing each instrument by itself and seeing the visuals. This enables us to learn to hear the sounds of each instrument in the song and connect with it better. The pitch of each instrument can also be changed to suit what the user can hear. For the vocals, we record multiple versions for the user to choose from. For example, a male voice with low vocals and female voices with mid and high vocals. These controls assist the 76% of deaf and hard of hearing people who find that parts of songs sound really confusing.
Way out here they have a name for rain and wind and fire.
The rain is Tess, the fire's Joe, and they call the wind Mariah.
Mariah blows the stars around, sets the clouds a-flying.
Some people prefer to hear the original version of the song and make use of the visuals to understand it better. Amplio makes it easy for deaf and hard of hearing people to share music with other people. They can do this by streaming the tailored version of the song to their hearing aids or cochlear implants, while the hearing people hear the original version through the speakers. This is valuable for the 58% of people who would like to share music with others but can only listen to it alone due to limitations of their technology setup. Some songs have sign language videos. The user can see the lyrics while watching the video. Most deaf and hard of hearing people lack accurate pitch perception. Since the mood of music is largely conveyed through pitch, it can be really hard for us to understand the mood of a song from the sound alone. So sign language videos are very expressive and can help users to connect emotionally with the music.
I let my guard down and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. She's on fire, sparks fly behind her.
For those who would like to translate a song into sign language, there is a full description of the meaning of the lyrics available, written in deaf-friendly language. "70% of us want guidance in how to set up a sound and vibrational system that allows us to enjoy music. But we don't know what to buy nor what to ask for. It took me years of asking around to discover that the secret is to plug in a haptic device, which vibrates without interrupting the audio experience of the song. However, little is known about how to set up a system that allows for a tailored audio along with powerful vibrations. I have designed systems that integrate with Amplio for the home, for large spaces such as a concert or school, and for on the go with haptic wearables. On Amplio, there is a vibrational experience that goes with every song, regardless of whether it naturally has a strong bass or not. Users with haptic devices will be able to enjoy this. In addition to the app and library of rebuilt songs, I have developed an online course which passes on the how and why of optimizing your music experience. This is called the Music Deep Dive for Deaf and Hard of Hearing. It covers everything I've learnt about music access that I wish someone had told me, presented in bite-sized pieces using easy English with videos, illustrations, and activities to put everything into practice. This course includes how to interpret their audiogram to maximize their musical experience, how to tailor sound in music to match what they can hear, how to unpack a song to learn what is happening with each instrument, how to train their brain to hear each instrument better, the right sound and vibration system for them, to discover options that allow them to share music with hearing people, the 4-piece band and why it works for deaf and hard of hearing people, why their experience of the mood in music is totally different to hearing people, and how to improve that, how music complexity affects their enjoyment of a song, and what to do about it, how to rehearse and perform to a song while remaining perfectly in time without any assistance from hearing people. Many of us deaf and hard of hearing people have written off music as inaccessible and therefore belonging to the realm of hearing people. Some have experienced pressure to pass as hearing and lump music in with this pressure. Others don't realise they are tolerating a suboptimal experience by listening to music made for hearing people. You can support the deaf and hard of hearing people you work with to access music by informing them that the new technology is now available and encouraging them to give it a go. Encourage your clients to create a consistent listening environment without background noise, which is crucial to resolve the issues associated with poor pitch perception. You can assist them by recommending quality headphones or preferably streaming devices to stream sound directly to their hearing aids or cochlear implants. For your clients who are moderately to profoundly deaf, recommending haptic devices will support them to access the large part of their brain that can be activated by using vibrations for music. Music could transform their lives as it has mine. Also, one more interesting piece of information. An astonishing 60% of us, deaf and hard of hearing people, express a desire to make music, but lack the means to do so. Through exposure via the visual components of Amplio, users will be able to learn by example how music is constructed, opening the door to its creation. I hope to one day foster a vibrant community where deaf and hard of hearing musicians create music for one another, leading to the emergence of charts featuring accessible music hits and a deaf version of Grammy Awards. We'll have awards for the best vibrational experience and the best sounds for hearing aids and cochlear implants. I am really excited for the deaf and hard of hearing people you work with to be a part of this future, to become the vibration designers, composers, and judges in this new industry. Start today by opening up a conversation about music with your clients. Tell them about the newest technology that is available and encourage them to give it a go by downloading Amplio and signing up for the Music Deep Dive for Deaf and Hard of Hearing. On my website is an info sheet you can download and give to your clients. Thank you.